Man, hot topic. Sports, NBA, All-Star weekend is coming up soon. And they're talking about doing it different, where you have the Americans take on the non-Americans, I think. And they're wondering if it's going to make the All-Star game more competitive. So basically, they're doing the same thing that they did in hockey, where it was America versus Canada. And unfortunately, we lost to Canada. The NBA is a little different, though. I was just watching Jason Whitlock, and man, they was wondering would it be better? It might be controversial, but it would be the black players versus the white players. So basically, it'd be Glory Road in 2026. Now, if you ain't never seen the movie Glory Road, it was based off, it's a real story. It actually happened. And it was the coach happened to be in the bathroom, and one of the other coaches was making a snide remark talking about how black players were inferior to the white players. So he had a meeting with his team, because he had black and white players on his team. And he had a meeting with his team and asked the white players, would they be okay with allowing all their black teammates to start, to prove a point that the blacks were more than able to compete with the white players. That's basically what Glory Road was about. Some great movie, though. If you get a chance, check it out. I don't know if it's on Netflix or whatever. You might have to rent it, but it's called Glory Road. Basketball movie. I love sports movies. They're my favorite. That's a great one. But getting back to this, so I think it would be interesting. But the thing about it is, you have people in I think the Korean Cosell, that's what Whitlock likes to call Steve. He brought up a good point. What do you do with the biracial players? Because I believe that even though he's Canadian, man, I can't believe I forgot his name, but the guy from Denver, the number 2, this next to Jokic, I can't believe, Jamal is from Canada, but I believe he's also biracial. And then you got the Ball brothers. We know they biracial. And no, Steph Curry he's not biracial, I don't believe. He just looked like it, but I don't think he is. So what do you do with them? You got to make them pick a side. One dude said the one drop rule. The one drop rule gonna take effect. But I was talking to my coworkers, one of my coworkers the other day about this same topic, and I said, man, I hate to say this, as a proud American, the Europeans and Canadians are taking over the NBA. Quiet as kept. Cooper Flag is really, I don't like to use the term great white hope, but he is a bright spot for the NBA because he is American born and he's balling out. I know some people don't like the fact that he's white, but I don't care, man. I'm just happy to see that this American is basically putting the whole league on his back. And not saying that the black American guys don't care. It's sometimes it does come across like that, though, because they done got their bag and now they just coasting. So I'm not saying that, but it does seem like that sometimes, that the European guys, no matter what, they ball out. Or the Canadian guys like Gill. I can't pronounce his last name, but y'all know what I'm talking about. The young man that plays with the Thunder, whose mentor, well, he actually watched a lot of Kobe Bryant tapes. And so he passed his game off of one of the best. And And it's not a coincidence that in today's game, he's probably the best or one of the best in today's game. The dude's a baller, but he's Canadian. And to switch gears for a minute, let's go to hip hop. I know some people might get mad at me for this, but I don't listen to secular rap, I'm just saying, but it's always being played at the job, so I hear certain songs. But some people would actually say that Drake might be one of the greatest, and he's Canadian. And The Weeknd, one of the greatest entertainers, Canadian. And one of the best rock and roll bands. I ain't really like their music. I mean, but anyway, the Beatles, British, England, London, one of them European. And I was telling him, I said, when it comes going back to basketball, they softened the NBA up for the Europeans because they wanted to make the sport more global. I don't know how many people are catching on to that. The Euro step, that was a travel in the 80s and 90s. The hop step, the step back, all that was traveling. That would automatically get a ball to the other team, but they don't call it a travel no more to make the game more appealing to the Europeans. And the hard fouls, they quickly throw you out the game because you fouled somebody a little too hard. And the competitiveness is gone. It's not as competitive as it used to be. Randy, are you saying Europeans are soft? No, I'm not saying that. Not one bit. Because I look at people like Kreger, the dude, Kreger, yeah, I forget his last name, who, shout out to him, he's a Christian now, if I'm not mistaken. They would praise God for that. But no, I'm not saying Europeans are soft. I'm just saying that the NBA, the truth be told, they softened the game up to make it more appealing to a European or a global audience. So that what the Pistons used to do back in the day, they got rid of that. You can't play defense like that anymore. So, but the Euro step and all that, why didn't they call it an American step? Not trying to sound corny, but they called it a Euro step in an American sport. And then it ties into the Bad Bunny thing because some people don't understand what everybody was so upset about. The NFL football, that's other than NASCAR and drag racing and what else? The rodeo, that the rodeo is a sport. And I mean, if you can consider figure skating a sport, you best believe that rodeo is a sport. That's a real sport. That's a man and woman sport. But anyway, I ain't mean to get sidetracked. But outside of that, and baseball is more global now too. But football, out of all of those, is the most popular. That is one of the last remaining American homegrown sports outside of NASCAR, the rodeo, and what's the other one? There's another one. Baseball, I guess you can still consider, but football is it, man. The Super Bowl is a holiday. It just hasn't been declared as one, but that's exactly how we treat it. That's us. That's us. That belongs to us. And that's why everybody was so mad about the Bad Bunny thing. It's because they're trying to do the same thing that they did with the NBA. They're trying to globalize it, and it's going to ruin the sport. The competition in NFL has already gone down compared to what it used to be. And so they tried, I think Bad Bunny was just, hey, we're going to try to globalize it. Y'all ain't been paying attention to why we got games going on in London? What's that about? Do y'all remember? I know my real NBA fans remember this. Remember that? I think it was a little bit after LeBron was drafted. I think LeBron was one of the last players to be drafted out of high school because after that, you had to go to college for a year before you could be drafted, right? Do y'all know what happened? They told our boys, you got to go to college a year. And the NBA started drafting Europeans. I forget what draft it was. You might have to Google search it. You might have to go on a YouTube video, pull it up. I want to say around 2008, 2009, maybe 2010. The top 5 or 6 NBA players drafted that year were European. But they told our boys they got to go to school for a year. See what I'm saying? And that's what I think the outrage was about, because the NFL is like one of the last major patriotic sports that we have. That's every player and every coach is American, pretty much. There's not any foreigners in the NFL. If they are, they're very, very minute. Most of those guys are born here in America. And that's what we were mad about. Like, man, look, dude, this is an American sport. Why we got to get somebody up here speaking Spanish and all of that? Come on, man. But anyway, so going back to what Whitlock and Scapatat were talking about, and Steve Kim was talking about with the black versus white players. I think I'm definitely gonna watch, but I think it would make the black American players play harder because they don't want to lose, and some of them, let's be honest, some of them are so racist it would hurt them if they lost to an all-white team. Henceforth, let's go to the Olympics. They were losing to mostly all-white teams when it came to the Olympics. Hey, and I ain't saying this because I was a Kobe fan. That's why Mike Krzyzewski, I know I butchered that man's last name, but y'all know what I'm talking about, the former Duke coach. That's the whole reason he went and got Kobe, because we were getting our hind parts kicked by the Europeans and Spaniards. They were whipping us. And he went and got Kobe because he needed somebody to get the other guys in line and a guy that wasn't afraid of the big moment. Because even when Kobe got on the team and they played the Spaniards with Casal and them boys gave them a fit, even with Kobe on the team. But Kobe, being Kobe, in the clutch, put an end to that. So, and then they were saying that the white guys might not take it as serious. And there may be some truth to that, man, because when I used to go and play on the blacktop and everything like that, when it came to us playing each other, man, we foul hard. You couldn't be soft playing on the blacktop, man. If you were, you might as well not even call next. Just go down to the other end and play by yourself, because you was going to get roughed up. And if you couldn't handle a hard foul, you need to be playing. Or you better knew how to fight, or just, hey, man, don't even call the foul. Because it was confrontational. But when I went to other places, like Virginia Beach, for instance, which I don't know, Virginia Beach might be more 50-50 now. But it was different. But no, not all, though. I ain't gonna, don't get it twisted. I don't want you to think that every single white guy that I played against didn't take the game as serious as we did, because that's a lie. I'd be lying if I told you that. But in most cases, they didn't take it as serious. We played like we had scouts watching us, like somebody was really gonna cut us a check if we won this pickup game. Them, it was fun. And sometimes if I like playing against them, because as I got older and I had, because I had a job, I couldn't, it wasn't really worth me going all out. And I get hurt, I can't get paid because I'm home with a hurt leg. And that happened a couple of times. I had to take off because I hurt myself on a basketball court, didn't get no money. So I get where they were like, man, yeah, this is just a game, man, to us, because a lot of them had jobs. And so they didn't take it as serious. Like, man, this is going to be out here having fun. And, they're going about their business. Us, we out there bleeding and stuff. And getting no money for it, no recognition. It's just a pickup game. So I think Whitlock might have a point. They might not take it as serious because they like, hey, I'm getting my money already, man. This is just a meaningless game to us. But then on the black side, because of the race thing and some guy, this is February, and I'm pretty sure there's been a whole lot of TV programs, because this is the month where they like to bring out all the slave movies to remind us your ancestors were slaves, boy. That's the white slave master you playing against. You better whip them, boy. Get your revenge. Nonsense. But anyway, but yeah, man, it is interesting. And if that happened, check it out. And this year, to be honest, just Americans versus the Europeans or any basketball player that's not American, I'm going to check that out anyway. And of course, I'm rooting for America. I really am. And I hope that it actually does bring some competitiveness back. Because I remember, that game is all over YouTube where Iverson brought back the East to defeat the West. Man, you talking, bro. They started all playing around, but around that third and fourth quarter, they started playing for real, man. And that game was like, yeah, that's how the All-Star game should be. These guys should have some type of, like, man, I want to show everybody I'm the best. And especially these young guys who finally made it to being on the All-Star team, you should be wanting to show everybody what you have, man, because not all of us get to see y'all on TV. I mean, even with all these apps, man, we still don't get to see every single team. And if you was on the small market especially, and you made it to the All-Star game, man, you should be trying to ball out. So like, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm keep my eye on him. But, you know, and we, you know, all these 82 games is a joke. These guys don't really take it serious until maybe late March into April, because the season about to wrap up. If you a ticket holder or a season ticket holder, they might take the first week serious. But if you go to a game like now in February, boy, you might see a 30-point blowout, and you done spent $200-$300 to sit in the middle of the stadium, not even on the floor, for a 30-point blowout. I've been there and done that. I ain't spent quite that much. But yeah, so better you than me. I'll stay home watching on TV. But yeah, man, I just was thinking about that. That's Glory Road in 2026, because that's basically what Glory Road was about. And not just that, man. All of our beloved sports declining. We're just going a major decline, man. I mean, even if God knows that Super Bowl pretty much summed up how American sports have been for I don't know how many years now. Sorry. I mean, NASCAR, ever since Dale Earnhardt and all of them guys went away, they just go around in a circle. It's not competitive. They don't swap paint no more. I mean, not that I want to see somebody get hurt. I don't, but I'm saying it's just not. I mean, drag racing, the same thing. It's just like drag racing is a little more competitive, but it's still, now the semi-pro guys, the guys and the ladies that's trying to make it, want to see some good racing? We got a semi-pro track around here called Langley. Good racing. Because those people trying to make it. And, bruh, when I tell you, you talking about racing, they race. Ain't none of this, you just going to go around the track and, no. I don't care if you got to lead or not, or you the last man. You might get tapped if you in the way. Yeah, so I like watching the semi-pro racers. And I like, man, the semi-pro sports, period. Like, I'm not a baseball fan. We got a team around here called the Tides. And they have some very competitive games. So these guys trying to make it. And they lay it out there. The college kids, same thing. So, yeah, man, it's just been a decline. And maybe Americans versus the Europeans or non-Americans in the NBA may actually bring some competitiveness back to a game that I used to love and a league that I used to feel like every time after work I had to go home and watch the game because such and such was playing. The Spurs and the Lakers was playing. I got to be there to see this. But it's been a long time since. And another one, I know it's not, I know it's, I don't want to use the word choreographed, but they know the outcome. Wrestling. Wrestling is like, for a while, the women were like trying to, and they done fell off too. I mean, man, the days of the Four Horsemen and Ric Flair and the NWO and Undertaker throwing Mankind off the top of the, man, yeah. See, it's just, they declining. And, you know, hopefully they, you know, figure out a way to make these sports more competitive. The competitiveness will come back to these guys will start, you know, somebody, maybe their ego will get checked or something. Like, you know what, man? No, you not better than me. We need that to come back. We need the spirit of the old guys. I don't want to call them old, but Magic Johnson was saying the same thing, man. Like, you had on the Celtics jersey, we hated you. And they hated us. And it made for a good game. And he was exactly right. He was exactly right. Now that they are, and they ain't that, maybe we be friends off the court. But even in the pickup games, man, a lot of them pickup games, I was playing against my friends. But man, when we was on the court, bro, he brought the best out of me, and I tried to bring the best out of him. I didn't want him handing me a win, and he didn't want me handing him a win. We need to bring that back in these sports, man. Ain't nothing wrong with competition. It's healthy. It makes you step up. It brings the best out of everybody. Ain't no need for you to be on the court or be on the field if you're not going to bring your best every game. Call me a throwback, old school, call me bitter or whatever, but that's just how I was brought up, especially when it came to sports. You don't need to play if you want to bring your best. I don't care if you play for the rec league. If you play for the rec league, you still wanted to bring your best. You didn't want to be looked at as a slacker. But some of these guys now, they cool with this being slacking. I got a bag. Well, all right, man. Just wanted to tell y'all. Hey, matter of fact, go check out that whole clip with Jason Whitlock and them talking about the black versus white in the NBA. All right. Bye.